Jigu, Shija, H, Ni, Stooge, Jigu. But the first time you step on that clay and you feel that sand, that dirt underneath your feet, you begin to feel that connection and what sumo is and with the earth gods. If you go back to the old tradition, the mythology of Shintoism, the islands of Japan were created when the gods had a sumo tournament, which I think is pretty cool.
Go, rope, siege, hatch, coup, ju.
When you fight in sumo ring, like when I was in Tokyo, you're underneath this massive Shinto temple, and the stomp is to waken the gods and scare away the evil ground spirits. Trust me. He's going to do the same. So then he's going to hit when he comes back. So you learn to skip and strike. Did I mention sumo's a little competitive? Nice! Now use your chest, use your chest, use your chest.
A sumo match begins with very old-fashioned formal movements. Many of the rituals and ceremonials are Shinto in origin. A sumo wrestler wins a match by forcing his opponent out of the ring, or by making him touch some part of his body to the ground.
Above your ring is this massive Shinto shrine, and you just smell that air, and you could feel how it's more than a sport or a spectacle.
The history of Ikebana has its origins in ancient times when people expressed their faith in flowers. Even today, a branch of the sakaki tree, an evergreen, is offered to the shrine. The ancient Japanese believed that a divine spirit was present in all growing trees and plants.
When I look at the art of Ikebana, I always feel the mutual respect and the thoughtfulness between the creator and its viewers. It involves some mindful consideration in choosing the flower materials and bases to reflect the idea of the theme and the season. The Ikebana creator does her utmost to ensure that the viewer have a joyful and inspiring experience.
Thought about and are just playing with, this is too big, something called yin-yang in common Western speech. Yin as being the women, female side, and the sunny side as being the male side. And that's supposed to be the powerful one, and the other one's supposed to be the submissive one. That really bothers me.
Personally, I really value Shinto for its appreciation of natural beauty, among other things. Shinto holds that all people are inherently good, and that there's divine spirit in basically everything. And I think that this way of thinking and living promotes a much more sustainable world than the one we live in today. I think there's a lot to be learned from Shinto in terms of living more in tune with not only nature, but also ourselves and each other.
I really like the fact that Shinto doesn't have extreme absolutes and that nobody is perfect. It's a religion that's more focused on looking into the self rather than projecting it onto the world. It doesn't focus on arbitrary rules and guidelines for what's okay and not okay to do. It's a really laid-back religion. I like that.
We really went out looking for how Shinto was experienced in Toronto, in our surroundings. We had, some difficulty trying to find, how it may have traditionally been practiced in Japan centuries or even decades ago, or even how it's practiced now. We know that being one of the original kind of indigenous religions to kind of spawn out of early Japan, it had its roots in agriculture and worshipping the seasons and nature and the sun as a god in itself. So what we found what we chose really was 3 distinct ways, accessible ways that someone could practice elements of Shinto, and that was namely sumo, nature itself, and the practice, the long-lasting practice of ikebana, or flower arrangement. And in it, what we really came to find was that it does all of the above in terms of conveying the essence of tradition, understanding the foundation for preserving traditions. It conveyed this love of nature, holding nature as sacred. In essence, it really got across what it meant to live a simple and harmonious life, to pay attention, to be in the present and now.